What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. Been very, very busy. I really appreciate everyone watching my videos. In this video, we're going to talk about the debt that's being released on the market. It is at an all-time high. There's several portfolios that are being released. I'm going to talk about three of them real quick, and then I'm going to get straight into some answers. A lot of people have questions, and I want to make sure that I get those. I answer them here on the video, and I'm also going to answer them directly on YouTube. So just in case you're not watching the video, but I like to answer them here on the video because it's sometimes a little bit easier to elaborate or to get the meaning of what I'm trying to say when we're typing it out. So let's first start here. And again, if you like my videos, I really appreciate it. Helps with the algorithm here on YouTube. It helps more people get help and get to this information so we can help them with their credit and debt situation. This is the first one here. It's a mixed batch of credit cards. These look like major banks. Not a huge amount. $400,000, 233 accounts, charge-off date 2009, so it's past statute of limitations for all states, except for the one that has a 15, Rhode Island. Let's see, average account balance is $1,716. Let's go to the next one, and they're selling that whole file for $2,000. Pennies on a dollar. We have another one here. Jewelry store. 4 major jewelry stores. You've heard of all of them. National companies. 4,105 accounts. $3.4 million. Average balance $839. All 50 states. They have accounts for these. All 50 states. Mix, selling the whole batch for $3,000. Average charge-off date. They did not list the charge-off date on this one. That's interesting. Did not list the charge-off date, so we don't know on that one. And another mixed jewelry. The same same 4 jewelry stores. A bulk package here, $6.8 million, 7,927 accounts, national, all 50 states. So if you had an account with one of the 4 major jewelry stores, I'm not going to mention their names, but they do a lot of advertising on TV and radio, and they're in most of the major malls. 7,927 accounts. Charge-off date 20. Check this out. Charge-off date is from 2000, 20 years ago through 2013. They're selling the whole account for $6,100. Unbelievable that they would be doing that. And let's see here, do I got any other ones that I maybe missed? This is one with a small batch, major credit card, small batch. Mostly, let's see here, national banks. 2 of them, I think, are more regional banks. Small balances, 1,300. It is national. They said that this is a mix all 50 states, but it's only 380 accounts. Average balance $1,312. Only $500,000 with this one. On Friday, we're going to be hitting it hard with more with the big boys. Here's another group: payday loans, well-known payday lender, 814,400 accounts, national, charge-off date 2014. Another group, 1.1 million, 492 accounts, $2,200 average, charge off date 2014. So these are going to be within the statute of limitations for some states, but out of statute of limitations for most states, where they will not be able to collect this money. To review real quick, and you can also check with my other videos that I have here about with accounts that are past statute of limitations. It's a very simple letter. You do not have to do any type of debt validation for an account that is past statute of limitations. Step number one, you need to see when you get the letter from a debt collector trying to collect one of these old debts. Step number one, which they're not going to tell you in the letter, you need to go to look at your credit reports and see when the charge-off date for that original creditor happened. You can find that out by looking at your credit reports in the comments section. If you don't have your credit reports, you need to have a paid monitoring service to do that, because the free services will not put this information in there. I invite you to use the link below or the one that I have on the screen here, your3scores.com. Grab your credit reports and scores, look at that, because paying that little bit of money for your reports with the monitor service can save you hundreds or thousands of dollars of dealing with a debt collector and time putting that information on your credit reports. So grab that, look there in the comments if it's past the statute of limitations, and you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. On my blog section of my website, you can scroll down and get to the blog and search for statute of limitations, and then it'll have it for all 50 states. And look for contract law. This would be under contract law. And if it's past statute of limitations for your state, all you have to do is write a simple letter to them, Mr. Debt Collector or Mrs. Debt Collector. I'm notifying you that this debt is past statute of limitations according to the laws in my state, and I'm demanding that you cease and desist all collection activities. And I will be, I will be reporting this also to the proper authorities in my state, which is your state attorney general's office, and anyone who handles the licensing for debt collectors. In my state of Wisconsin, it's the Department of Financial Institution. You want to go ahead and put them on notice so they can hurry up and send you a letter back saying that they will not try to collect on that debt. You want to save that letter, because they're going to probably package it back up, sell it to somebody else, because they're going to complain to the portfolio company that sold it to them, and they're going to say, hey, you sold me an account that we can't even collect, even though they know they can't collect, because their game that they're playing is to have people not have the information that I'm telling you, and then they end up paying on debt that they don't legally have to pay on. So that's all you have to do for that. Now let's get into the questions. This person had a cable bill for $731. It's about 18 months old. It's the only collection that they have, and what's my advice? Advice would be, if it's with a debt collection company, to do the debt validation, because when they sell that debt to a debt collector, that debt collector must get all of the information, the contracts, everything that proves that the debt is yours. If they can't get that information, they cannot legally collect on the debt. Now, they might try to push this all the way up in the court and do all these types of things, but at some point, you will have the opportunity to do a full debt validation, either with doing it from the letter that they sent you, or from doing it with a summons, if they send you a summons and you do the debt validation there, or if you've missed that opportunity and you have to go to court, you can ask for it at that time. So it's never too late, but you should always ask for the validation of the debt. Make sure that, and because it's going to be within the statute of limitations, you're mainly looking to see if the company is going to provide all the information that they must provide when they have a debt. If they are collecting it for the cable company, they're just hired by the cable company to collect debts for them. This is going to be a situation where you're going to go into doing a debt settlement, where you're going to tell them, hey, it's $731. I wasn't satisfied with the company. I wasn't satisfied with the services. There were some issues that I had, but to move forward, I would like to settle this for a couple of $100, and they'll probably do it. Might have to do a little bit of back and forth. If they've put it on your credit reports, you want to negotiate that they take it off your credit reports if you pay to settle the account. They may say, well, we're not going to settle it for as low as you want. If you want us to delete it, that's how they're going to play their hand back and forth. Even if they don't, if they raise it and you don't want to pay that, you can still, there's other options that you can use after you pay it, and then you can, request that it be removed from your account, or that it shows positive on your credit reports because you would have done a settlement on there. The next one is they're being sued to pay an outstanding debt. I responded to the summons. I have a court date on Friday. 2 years, been jobless, cannot pay the debt. Plaintiff attorney wanted me to agree on a judgment or go to trial. Familiar, but the judge said I can change my mind before trial. Now, again, I'm not going to give you advice on legal advice, but let me tell you what these are the options that are available to you. Because you've notified the plaintiff attorney that you were jobless for the last 2 years, potentially, and I've had this come up with a number of clients, one that was on YouTube here that wasn't a client, that just followed the information that I'm about to give you now. If you've notified the debt collector of your situation, what you should do is you should go to court, you should go to trial. Even if they get the judgment, they're not going to be able to collect on the judgment. If you're on any type of disability or anything and you notify them that you're on disability, they may choose to go ahead and halt everything because they know that they're not going to be able to get anything. But if you've just not been employed and they believe that you could get employed at a future date, they're going to go ahead and follow through with the court case for getting a judgment. Now, what I'm asking you is, did you do a debt validation to make sure that this is a debt that you do have to pay? Number one, did you check the statute of limitations on the debt that they're coming after you for? Number two, did you ask to do a debt validation to make sure that the debt can legally be collected? Right now, the judge is just looking at them saying they claim you owe this. You're saying really that you don't owe it. You're just saying that you can't pay it. You have more rights than that. You have rights to also do a debt validation. Please refer to my videos for doing a debt validation so you can at least go into court and you can ask the judge on Friday. This was 14 hours ago, so this coming Friday, you can, or you could prepare it and send it to the plaintiff attorney in advance, asking them to validate the entire debt and have it ready for you on Friday. What I'm thinking is that as soon as you walk into court, they're going to say, when you get that debt validation, or if you ask for it in court, you could say, I did not know my rights pertaining to this debt. I would like to get all of the information to prove that I owe this balance. And you didn't say, I don't think, what type of debt it was. So please answer me on that, and I'm gonna type also on here. Let me know what type of debt it is, because there's a lot of things lot of rights that you have when you do a debt validation for any debt, but especially if it's a credit card debt or something. Okay, and then there was another one here from an early video. This person had said I didn't mention statute of limitations for each. Oh, I didn't mention the statute of limitations for each state in that video. I did mention the statute of limitations, but I wasn't going to roll off 50 states of statute of limitations. I just wasn't going to do that on the video. You can go to my website, or you can look it up online and look at the statute of limitations pertaining to your state. Here's someone said the force is strong with this one. They probably saw my Star Wars and my Star Trek models behind me. Here's another one here. I was summoned to court today, but I didn't see questions to answer. Okay, the questions are statements. And please refer to my other videos about doing a court summons. I have a video on here that actually where I show you on with the document what the questions are. The questions could be in the form of a statement, but you must answer them. You must say, it'll either say the plaintiff alleges, and then it'll say, number one, that Joe Blow lives at this address. That's actually a question. It's a statement, but it's a question. And you must legally, if you respond to a summons correctly, you must answer that. Yes, I live at that address. No, I don't live at that address. Reason why that you got to answer that is because they're trying to show the court that they sent information to you at the last known address. And so they're alleging that you're at that address or that you used to live at that address. These are things that they have to follow. And they may say some other things about that you signed a contract to pay this company. Like it'll be number two. This individual signed a contract with this company, and they said that they were going to pay whatever it was an open charge account, and that they were going to pay payments every month. It's a statement, but it's actually a question. And you would just say to something like that, yes, I do not dispute that statement. The one statement that you want to make sure that you answer is where they say the balance, and they'll try to trick you up. They may say it in three different ones. I think on the one that I did the video on, they said the balance on one question or statement, and then they brought it over again and then over again. If they do that, all you do is could say, I answered that on with question or statement number 3 or number 4, wherever it is in the summons, and then you would just repeat it. But you need to either say, I agree, or I do not dispute. For the ones that are just, simple answers, like your address, or, that you maybe, yes, you did sign something with this company, but you still, regardless, have a right to dispute it. Don't set yourself up, and I'm not giving legal advice. I don't want to get people where they think I'm just giving legal advice, but this is what we've done for customers. This is what I did for myself when I went to court, when I first learned all of this stuff in the 90s, is that regardless, you don't want to set up any type of situation where they're like you're lying in court. You don't want to say, I never owed this debt, or because they're going to have the original creditor on there. You can say, I never owed this company. I want to know the relationship with this company. But that's part of the debt validation. That's why when they make their statements, they're not going to say that you owe such and such debt collection company. But when you have the balances and they state a balance, they try to trick you. I'm telling you, they try to trick you. You got to read these summons very carefully, because they try to trick you. They'll make statements above saying that a company is suing you, but when they've purchased the debt, they'll slip it in on one of the statements, or one of the statements or the questions, quote, questions that they ask, that they actually own it, that now they've put fees and stuff on top of that. So that's why when it gets to the part about the money, what you want to do is you want to do a full debt validation. And I have videos on how to do a full debt validation. Go to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel and then watch the debt validation videos. Watch them because it tells you everything on how to do them. And then, so that's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to do, if you end up, well, do the debt validation, and then you need to go to court and send it to them, send it to the court. Because it's so close, they may give them more time to get the information. If they know that they don't have the information, they're going to not move forward. And also remember to look at the statute of limitations on that. It's not too late. You can just simply go into court and tell the judge, I did not know, at that time I've been made aware that this debt is past statute of limitations according to the laws in our state. And the judge will look up and they'll say, this is past statute of limitation. Or they may look at the plaintiff attorney and ask them, did you know that you're coming after a debt that's past the statute of limitations? And you find that out by looking at the original charge-off date. There's a link on this video and below this video. Go there, get them. It could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Let's go to the next question. What if I got a 1099 form and you already filed your tax? What do you do? You should get it amended. Let me tell you why. Because they're going to be expecting that 1099 to be claimed. But when you do the amending, you need to get with a tax professional and see how you can get that amount waived, because the IRS is going to be looking for that for additional income. Something that has changed about the way that they do taxes, and let me take a drink here. With something that has changed, and I know that their eyes are on this a lot. With my businesses, I own several companies, and one of the things that I get is probably it started more last year, but for years I've done business with companies, and very few had ever filed it on a 1099. And but what I've noticed now is that every company now is required to file a 1099 for money that they pay another company. So I got a stack. So when I do my taxes this year for one of my businesses, I have like 700 clients that advertise in one of my publications. And I got a stack of 1099 forms, because they're required anytime it's over $600 that they pay an individual, they have to file that. Now, they've always filed them probably, or they just claim the receipts or whatever, but now you have to actually file that form and give the person the business that you did business with, that form. So they are paying attention to that, because what they're doing now is they're like, you got a stack of these that these companies paid you, that better show up as income on your taxes. They already know. They're expecting it. They've actually made it easy, because now when they get them and someone files their taxes, no, people aren't just sitting there like looking through your taxes. No, they feed that into a machine, and they're looking for, okay, that 1099 was filed with that company on this company, and this is the number that it must match. And when you file your taxes, if those do not show individually as claimed income, and they're not submitted in, like, you got to put the tax number for that business that you got the money from, and you got to put the amount on your taxes. If you don't do that, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. They've figured out the way for people that were doing it. Probably a lot of business owners were cheating by not claiming all of the income that was potentially paid in cash by companies, or checks by companies that made it harder to trace. Credit card companies started doing this years ago, where the credit card companies would send that form. I've always been getting that. Probably really jumped up in about 2009, 2010. I noticed that the credit card companies were providing those. But now all of the companies that I do business with provide them. I got a stack of them for one of my businesses, and then I've gotten them for the other businesses that we take credit cards for. So yes, you need to file that. But good news is that you can get that waived, especially depending on what the debt was for. You can get that waived, and you need to keep that form and make sure that they take that off of your credit reports, because now they have filed this as a debt forgiveness. Debt forgiveness puts the information that's on your credit reports into a whole nother classification. They cannot leave that information on your credit reports, or it needs to be put as 100% positive information, because they've done a 100% claim to the IRS as a debt forgiveness, debt cancellation. So they cannot leave it on your credit reports that same way. Now, another question: how can we boost our FICO score? Why is a mortgage different, or calculation or credit system for credit? Why are they use multiples of credit systems for scores? When you go to get a mortgage, and I've talked about this in a video in the past, and let me just pause for a second here. Please please subscribe to my channel. Please get notified of new videos that I will be posting. When you go to get a mortgage, they do what's called filtering. Not even the mortgage people, brokers, or some of them know about it. The regular agents or the representatives that write you up, they don't really know about this, but companies do this. In the old days, they used to call it redlining, but now what they do is they just do what's called a filter. And on that filter, what they do is remember when you filled out a application and it said, are you married, single, do you own a home, you graduate from college, hold on, something popped up on my screen, graduate, or you're a college graduate, all these different things. You're like, well, why do you need to know that type of stuff? Time on your job, all that stuff. Because what they're doing is that's a filter. That's a filter for the risk that they've put into their algorithm. Their filter is saying, okay, this person, according to what they've put on their application, they don't care what your credit score says. They're going to rate you at a certain credit score. I don't care what they say. They come up with this BS about, let's just figure the average of all three scores. That was way before, when they used to do the liar's loans and all that, back before the crash. What they are doing now is you can walk in there, and depending on what you put on that application, they could say that your score will be counted as lower, or they may not say that your score is lower. They may just say, this is what they're going to be offering you, and they have their tricks on how they do it. But I've from mortgage people that I've talked with that are in the underwriting process, they call it filtering, and they will discount points on according to what you put on that application. And they use this so they can make more money, because what they do is the mortgage for most people is never paid off. It's always refinanced. So what they want to do is they want to make as much money on the points, because what they're going to do is they're going to make the money up front when they write the loan, and then they're going to sell it off to somebody that'll sit and wait on the payments for a certain period of time, and then it might be sold again. Let's look here. There was someone that gave us, that talked about the last video that I had that talked a little bit about the thing that's going on in our country and the world. I'm not going to mention it on here because that actual video got flagged. So I'm not even going to mention it here, but you all know what we're talking about, and I would like to say thank you to that individual that put those kind words and information for everyone to pay attention to. All right, well, that's it for the video today. I'm still working on that video about just got to make the time. We've had a influx of a lot of customers, and I have to put in the time to make sure that their information is move forward the way that we need them to. And also, we've been a little bit short staffed due to some illnesses, but everybody's working as hard as possible. So please go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. Post your comments, your questions. Please like, share, get notified of new videos. Subscribe to the channel. It's helping more and more people. The channel is building. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com. Get those because everything starts with that. And until next time, please have a great day and stay positive.